Hello, beautiful people. Myself, Ash, and in this video, we are going to talk about avoidant attachment style. And why I wanted to talk about this is that I had been an avoidant, and there are still some bits of those avoidant parts in me. Okay, and I have seen so many videos on avoidant attachment, sorry, anxious attachment style on the internet, but there was none on avoidant attachment style. And part of the reason for this is that it is normalized by internet, by our peers, and even by the people around us. It is normalized at some point in our life that you are the strong one, you don't need people, or you can rely upon yourself, because it's kind of, it's easy. People can uh, uh, say to you that you are very strong, that you don't need anyone, you are very independent, this girl can do all alone. But that's just something that is, they are praising you for the wrong thing. Like, no one have to do it all alone. Like, if other people are getting other people to do their things, to care for them, why not us? And this thing on the internet that is saying, baddie behavior, or you are dark feminine, or things like this, they are also normalizing avoidant behavior, because you are like, you are rude to people, you are like, if you have to be successful, you have to be all alone, and you can't have a bunch of people around yourself, because again, you being alone and being alone and successful is kind of seen as two things that are with each other. And this is nothing true, because success is easy when you have a network and a connection of people. And it is also very nice for your mental health, because what are you going to do with the success if your mental health is in a worse place? Okay, and that's the reason I wanted to make a video on it. And if you don't know anything about avoidant attachment style, let me tell you what it is. It's when, you can say that in your childhood, and when you were a kid, most of the times you were abandoned by someone of authority, like your parents, or like someone who had to care for you, but you were left alone. Or maybe any event that you have to face alone, that you needed help, but you can get it anywhere. Okay, so what happens is our brain just embedded that identity in our mind, that look, you had left alone. Okay, now for the whole part of your life, for the rest of your life, you have to just live alone, and you can't rely on anyone, it's weak. And at the end, people will left you. At the end, people will just leave you alone. You don't have to rely on anyone, you can be vulnerable with anyone. It's like, you need someone to love who you are, but you can show anyone who you actually are. So it becomes kind of paradoxical, that it's like whole thing is false, because you know you can't, how can anyone love you if they don't know who you truly are? And you have built those walls around you, that I can show who I really am. And what reasons do you give to people to not show who you really are? Is that people are bad, people take advantage of you, and people will leave you alone one day. And like, I'm not telling you that there are not bad people around. There are so many that you should be careful from. But the thing is that there are so many nice people too. There are so many. But what avoidant people do is that they always have that thing, that I shouldn't get close to people. And because of this attitude, what they do is they sabotage the real relationships in their life, that are nice. Okay, they always feel like, at some point this is going to end. I shouldn't show this side um of myself to this person. Okay, they kind of wait for the thing to end. And how it is normalized in the social network nowadays, that this girl is really hyper independent. First of all, hyper independence is not something that should be praised. Second is that I have a very few friends, so I'm real and people around me are real, and if someone have so many friends, they are um fake. Okay, and what more examples can be, like, I don't trust people easily, people are bad, and I can't ask for help from anyone. These are the signs that you may be an avoidant. Okay, so how we fix this? First of all, what avoidants really fear is rejection. Okay, and I this is kind of like irony. Okay, I made it my goal that I wanted to be rejected so many times. It can be in any form, like, some you want to be friends with someone and they reject you, and they feel like you are stupid for even trying, and you want to say something but people don't listen to you. So what avoidance fear is rejection, is being told that they are not needed somewhere. Okay, this is their worst nightmare. Okay, I can tell it from my experience. So what you have to do is put yourself in the situations where you are going to get the rejection. Okay, and the flip side of this thing is really nice, that when you put yourself in those situations, you are going to learn so much about yourself, because you are putting yourself somewhere that you used to of fearful of. Okay, so you are putting yourself in new scenarios, you are getting uncomfortable. So what is going to happen is, either you are going to get the thing that you really want, or you are going to face rejection. If you are going to face rejection, you are going to heal your avoidant wound. Okay, that it is not a big deal to get rejected. If you are getting rejected, it doesn't mean that your life is going to end, you are not going to die. It is very normal. Okay, and if you are not getting rejected, the other person or the offer or anything, if they accept you, it's like you will get the thing. So it's a win-win, there is nothing to lose there. So try to put yourself in the situation where there are the chances to get rejected. Okay, put yourself in the situation. Don't just sit there because you fear that I will get rejected. Okay, and there is an analogy, it was in the book that I was reading. It's like, avoidant attachment is something like that. It's that you have a thorn in your body anywhere. Okay, and but there are two options that you can do. If first is that you modify your whole life based on that thought, that I'm going to sleep in this pose, or I'm going to wear those kind of clothes so that the thorn will not get irritated, or I will not get too close to the people I love so that the thorn will not touch anywhere. Or the second thing you can do is pull that thorn out and live your life. But to pull that thorn out, you will need courage, and there will be a lot of pain to do that. But to do the first thing, there will be no pain. It's like, you are just changing your life and the thorn is still there. So avoidant attachment is really like this. What you do on the first place, when you don't trust people, when you don't make more friends, when you don't let yourself be vulnerable, when you don't let yourself depend on someone for love and for care, What you are doing is modifying your life in such a way that the thorn will not get irritated. Okay, but the second option is that you pull that thorn out. And how you are going to make friends, you are going to depend on people, you are going to confront people, because it's like the more you will show your mind that it is not fearful to interact with people. People are not that bad. Like, I may have an experience in my childhood, but is your childhood your whole life? It's not. Are all the people like the person who have left you? They are not. People are different. There are so many chances. Your life is very big. It shouldn't get affected by a single incident. And if you are just doing, but like having that thorn in your body and just moving around, then you are just protecting that thorn, you are keeping that thorn, and you are complaining to people that this thorn is irritating because it's in my body. But what you are actually doing, you are keeping that thorn inside with your will. Okay, but you could do is you just pull that out. It will it will be painful, okay, but it will be gone for good. So in our society, what is normalized that what is normalized as a form of dark feminine women, that they are rude, or they are kind of very, they don't trust people easily, they are um, they don't have become friends with people, they don't depend on anyone, they don't say things, or they don't live soft life. And this is kind of, I believe this is kind of a propaganda, because no one should live a miserable life um that doesn't have any joy. And I'm not saying that people are the only source of joy or happiness. You can have that alone too. But getting scared of people is something that you shouldn't be having, okay? Like, you should be someone who can have joy with or without people. But note that you can't have people around. This is something that is dangerous, that is, as adults you should eradicate. Because if you are in a relationship with someone who, if you are an avoidant and you are in a relationship with someone, you will sabotage that relationship. Even if it's friendship, if it's anything, you will be like, okay, uh, if the person who is around you, if he or she does anything, okay, you will be like, I knew that they will do something like that. People are not that good. I knew they are this. You will eventually turn that small thing as their whole identity. You will not give them the benefit of doubt that maybe they are having a bad day, maybe there is something that is going on with them, maybe they need space, maybe there is something. Because there are so many maybes. People are complex, people have situations, people have moods, there are hormones, there are so many different things, and you are not giving them the benefit of doubt. You are just projecting your childhood trauma on them by saying that people are bad. You are just putting all the millions of people in a bracket. And this is something that is really dangerous for you, for the person who are in your contact. So it is your duty to heal. It is not someone else's duty to tell you that, look, you have this problem, you have to heal. Like, someone can show you the direction, but you eventually you have to pull that thorn away from your body. Okay, you have to do that yourself. There is no one who is coming and who is going to do that for you. Okay, so take as much as rejection that are humanly possible for you. Okay, there, I can say that there may be different situation by which you got hurt, by which you had that feeling that people are bad. But if you know that incident, okay, then try to reverse that incident. Like, your brain have that evidence that look, this was the incident through which we realize that people are bad. Try to make the memories or make the events that are opposite of that incident, that made you believe that people are nice, people help. And if you find yourself again thinking that people are bad, like, I gave the example that your loved one does something and you instantly believe that people are bad, try to remember their good things. Try to remember the day they helped you, the day when you were sad and they were just sitting there and listening to you. If they are bad, they wouldn't do that thing. Okay, so you can just um analyze their whole identity just by a single incident. You can. Okay, so if there are any question that you want to ask about this, you can just ask in comment section. And yeah, that's it. Subscribe the channel, and bye bye.